Hello, Elizabethton High School Men's Ensemble. Good to be with you. I'm Tim Banks. I'm a retired professor from Stanford University in Birmingham. Though this is our virtual clinic, this is actually the fourth opportunity I've had to be a judge in the Tennessee State Festival. But of course, it's the first time not to actually be hands-on and right with you. So this virtual clinic, therefore. The first thing I should say is good job overall. I like your vitality, your verve. I'm always a sucker for men's singing, for men's chorus. It's very important that we keep a vital men's choral movement going in the country. Obviously, it's vital as well that we keep a ladies' chorus and a mixed chorus. All of the choruses have a place. And so I'm just excited always to hear this many guys singing well, certainly at the high school level and so forth. I can pretty quickly go into the music and some items that I sort of touched on in the written comments, but want to elaborate on here a little bit. In the case of the first piece that you did, nice job, Be Thou My Vision. I just wanted to make sure that we got the diction in such that we get all of the word instead of just some of the word. Be thou my vision. I know that if I went around speaking like this, I would have very few friends. Kind of weird. But that's the way we have to sing. Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart. That's it's in order to get the sound across, we've got to make sure that we're overdoing the consonants. And of course, in this era of masking and social distancing and virtual concerts and stuff, it's a whole different kind of ball game. But when you get back into the track with live music making, be very sure that you're taking all of that word and giving all parts of it some rhythm. A diphthong is a funny thing. Thou, be thou my. We here in the South, we tend to put diphthongs where they don't belong, and we leave them out where they do. So I, the personal pronoun, I, as opposed to my. You see what I'm saying? We need to be concerned about the parts of the word. Overdoing that for myself on that. I think that the intonation was generally good in the tenor range, upper range. I want to speak in just a moment about some issues with vocalism, but I'll save that for just a separate moment. Let's see. On the balance issue, I lost the second tenors occasionally in this first piece, and in the second piece, in Near My God, inner voices were sort of sometimes blocked out even by the soloist. Nice solo voice. I'll get to that in a second as well, if I may. It's a good cohesive men's sound, as I said in the notes, but I would really want to hear a better transition between the low register and the high register. The main point that I would make here, and this is where I wanted to spend a moment on vocalism, if you will, is for men's voices especially to realize the different parts of the men's voice. Chest voice, where we are singing down here You know, that's chest voice. And then there is a lighter kind of head voice, which is up in the upper part, but you can't project head voice very hard. And then when the vocal folds actually flip over, they flip over on the ends, you have falsetto, right? Okay, so men, I know I'm sounding like, hi, Mickey, but the men's falsetto singing, there's a long tradition for that. You just listen to groups like the King Singers and Voces 8 and other English groups especially, or Chanticleer here in the U.S., you hear male alto singing, which is some blend of what's generally thought of as countertenor, but also probably some falsettoing. I do a lot of falsettoing myself, obviously, and so the main issue is to know where to back away and transition, where to mix. In other words, in the upper register, I'm going to have to back away, perhaps, and keep it kind of light. Real tenors have very little falsetto, and so that's the range. That's the range in which you're speaking, also, and therefore that's the range that you're singing. Baritones and basses actually have more ability to flip into falsetto. I'm a lyric, what's known as a lyric baritone, and so in those parts of Be Thou My Vision. I'm sorry, I lost lost the title there for a second. Be Thou My Vision, especially the top notes, and I'm speaking more to the those that are singing the tenor notes than anything. Heart of my own heart. Keep that very light, even though it's marked fortissimo. Got no yelling, no punching. Heart of my, no. Heart of my own. And I don't know if you could tell, but I just transitioned into falsetto on the very top note. Heart of, that's head voice. Heart of my. I just did a little change. Okay, so practice doing that. As you mature, as your voices mature, you'll have more opportunity to play with that. You know, my voice changed fairly early. I was fairly settled as a light baritone by 13, which is kind of early. So most high school voices are still in the settling phase. Most of you guys, you know, you may not have actually matured. And the mature man's voice, you're not really getting towards true maturity vocally until you may be 24, 25 years old. So even my college guys, when I was working with college guys, I wasn't working with fully mature voices. You've got to be very careful about how you push those tones. And that kind of brings me to the second piece. What a great piece of music that is. It's really cool. And it's been done by lots of men's groups around the country. It was written originally for a men's group at Brigham Young University. I put a link in case you haven't actually seen that group or heard that group rather do it. There's a link in the notes about where to find that. It's the original group singing it, the BYU men's group, and I think that the soloist there is the composer, James L. Stevens. He's a 2000 something, maybe 2003, 6, something like that, graduate of BYU, and so that piece in the last almost 10 years has gotten a lot of airplay around and about. I think, to be honest with you, that piece is awfully thick for your number of singers. So what we'll want to do in order to make it more palatable for you is, I want to back the solo singer off. Good solo singer, great guy. Two things about the soloist. I put in the notes an old phrase called "don't gild the lily." That just means the lily's already beautiful enough. You don't need to put gilding on it. Don't think of this as a gospel thing with all the extra frill. the more plaintive sounding it is at the beginning, the better it'll be. Okay? Nearer, my God, to thee. Little scoop, fine. But God to thee. Don't start putting in ornaments too early in the piece. Later in the piece, maybe that works okay. And you'll notice if you listen to the soloist in the BYU recording, not a lot of ornamentation there. Even there's a Swahili version of it in an African group that's on YouTube, I think, somewhere. And even that African soloist, a young fellow, doesn't do a lot of ornamentation. So be careful about the ornamentation. I'm going on too long about that. And also the soloist would need, I'm sure that this is a miking issue too. So I get that. Don't sweat it. Maybe we need to get the soloist away from the miking, but definitely to have the group be more part of the texture, and especially the middle voices. I really would like to hear more middle voice, less outer voices, less sound from the outer voices. That does not take anything away from the rhythmicity of the thing. I also am assuming, maybe I shouldn't assume anything, but I'm assuming that you know that text was put into Latin by James Stevens, and so I put in the notes, in case you haven't seen it, a translation that I found of his Latin stuff. It's really not a hey kind of tune. It is a going to heaven sort of tune. It's a death tune, but it's a very positive one. Going to heaven stuff. So bear that in mind as you're singing the Latin. And of course, Nearer My God to Thee was, I think, wasn't it sung on the Titanic as they were going down? One of those, or the Lusitania, one of those ships that went down in the Atlantic. And so it has a kind of deep meaning that even though it is highly rhythmic in this version, you still want to keep that depth of meaning somehow in your mind in the way you do it. I think, okay, I think I've covered most all of the things that I meant to cover. Really, really fine choral sounds back in the first piece, if I may, at 46 and at 72. That shows that you've got the stuff. I can hear it there. What we need to do is balance that more. Again, balancing between a soloist and a full group. There's several versions of Near My God on YouTube. You might give them a listen and hear how that will affect the way you balance what you're doing. Last but not least, I just want to say thank you again for maintaining your singing. Men's chorus stuff needs to keep happening in this country. I am a big proponent of all choral singing, and to have a men's group to keep it going during this terrible time of pandemic is really admirable. So so bravo to you guys, bravo to your director, bravo to everybody in Tennessee who has kept this thing going through a very, very difficult year. And I hope that, because my cycle of judging is about every 3 years, I probably won't see you guys if I'm honored to come back in another cycle 2-3 years from now. But that's because I hope that you're all out singing somewhere else, singing in college or in a church choir or in a men's choral group or barbershop chorus or something out there. Just get out there and stay with it. Okay? And thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it very much. Keep up what you're doing. God bless.